when you come into a friend group, you should try to make friends, not try to dig stuff up on people months before you meet them or look to have problems with people. She's like Noella 1.5.
Okay.
Welcome, Housewives and Vicky.
That's rude. She's a bitch.
Let the game begin.
Gina's a user, and she's not my real friend.
You're a wackadoodle!
Season 18, the 100th season of the Real Housewives franchise.
Is that insane? I mean, can we just have a moment of silence for that? The 100th season of Housewives on the OG series.
It was meant to be.
Totally, beshared.
You're in an interesting life place because you've largely moved yourself up to LA.
Yeah.
But you're still a Real Housewife of Orange County, spiritually.
Yes.
How does that work?
Well, look, I've raised my kids in Orange County. Terry's practice is in Orange County. My mother-in-law's there. And to be honest with you, sometimes I'm more down in Orange County, sometimes more in LA. But I feel like we've been doing that for years.
Yeah, as you've long said, a New Yorker transplanted to LA, dragged down to Orange County, slowly dragging yourself back to the East Coast.
Exactly.
Basically, the whole crew from last year is back, which is always nice to see. The only person missing is Taylor Armstrong. What's the vibe of the ensemble this year?
I mean, I think the vibe is really good. I think that people were not that happy with the show for a few years. I think there was a turnover rate. I mean, look, it's hard to find people that want to open their lives in a very authentic way. And now we have this tight friend group, and you bring some people on, like bringing Alexis Bellino back, who several of us have a ton of history with. All of a sudden, it's like magic.
I want to get into all of that. Who do you find yourself the closest to right now after going through this season?
Tamra. Tamra.
Your housewife maker.
My housewife maker. Tamra and I, have been friends since literally the first day I worked on this show, and we just immediately bonded. And I know we joke she's my housewife maker, so I'll always love her. But look, our relationship has had a couple of hiccups along the way, but not many. And after last year, I think we both looked at each other like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
This is crazy. And so, yeah, we're really close.
Is the friction gone with Emily and Gina? Where are you at with those two now?
Well, I mean, I have to say, it was very difficult for me in general to walk back into this season. I really had to make a conscious decision to move forward with everyone and figure out, okay, here's how we left off. How do I feel about this person right now? What box? Are you an acquaintance? Are you someone I'm going to tell things to? Is there a bigger friendship here? That was not easy to walk back in. I think my vibe this year was just very cautiously optimistic and really trying to keep my eyes open and see who my true friends are.
Okay, so what box do those two check for you now? A true friend, acquaintance, something in between?
Today, on this day, I would say true friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like we're gonna see some tough conversations with Emily.
Yeah.
I've lost weight, but Heather looks at me as just like the big girl. I felt like I was singled out.
Oh. Here's the thing about being on this show. You live it, and then you walk away from it.
Yes.
And you live there, and then you watch it, and then you relive it, and now you see things that you didn't live and hear other things, and then you're in a different space, and then you figure it out at the reunion. I mean, it's a lot of levels.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens.
Where you are today may not be where you are when reunion day
We'll
comes.
see. I hope it's the same.
You are the one who kind of brings Alexis back into the fold, which is slightly unexpected because when you two were on the show together previously, it wasn't a tight bond for the two of you.
It's been a moment.
Yeah. So how are you?
Good.
Well, you've
How
had
are
a
you?
lot of life changes.
So how did you two get to that place?
Isn't it great that we can all grow up? We can evolve, we can change, and as a woman and as a mom, being able to reconnect with Alexis years later through our kids, because our kids were in a theater program together.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so her son James and Katerina ended up on stage together as a couple, holding hands and singing, and it was so funny. And I remember, seeing Alexis in the green room there, and her mom was there, and it was just like, hi, like sorority sisters. How are you? Good to see you. And from then on, we really just started to bond.
Well, and you've said since you came back that she's the person you would like to see come back.
Yes.
So I would venture to guess that kind of conversation, that idea, that nugget that she might come back happened long before the John Jansen of it all happened.
Oh, 100%. Look, I've been saying for the last 2 years that I think she should come back. And, you know, we both have LGBTQI plus kids. And so that sort of, you know, talking about our children and what was going on in our lives really brought us even closer together. And also, she's great. She's beautiful and she's funny.
She seems like a fully formed version of herself now versus the Alexis we last saw.
To meet Alexis where she is right now is really exciting to see.
There's a lot more, and if she wants to go toe-to-toe, I'm ready.
Alexis is strong. She has her convictions, and she's a really fantastic mom. And you know, that's my thing.
That's your character guide for people. To circle back to the John Jansen of it all, there's kind of a running joke online that Shannon Beador has now been on this show for 10 years and never had a good season. Like, every season has been a rough one for her.
Is that true?
Yes. What's your read on her journey this year? Is it a rough one again?
I think it's a rough one. Yeah. I think it's like Susan Lucci and the Emmys. It's continuing.
When the perfect storm kind of came together of Alexis is coming back, she's bringing John back with her. Shannon's coming back. She has just come out of this really tough moment with the DUI going into the season. Where was your mind at?
Well, first of all, I just want to be incredibly clear that Alexis was in talks to come back to the show way before she was dating John Jansen. That had nothing to do with anything. Everyone wanted her back. My thought process was honestly, how am I going to navigate this? Because, you know, Shannon and I didn't end great after the reunion. I didn't really feel as though I got from her what I needed to. And we hadn't spoken very much in the interim. I, reached out to her after the DUI, but, I'm not part of that close circle of hers. Yeah. And Alexis and I have become close. But I still consider Shannon a friend. So in my mind, I was thinking, how am I going to navigate between these two? And honestly, I don't even know if I did it very well.
I have your ex-boyfriend. There's the door, Shannon Beador.
There's no handbook for this. Like, what does one, I'm sorry, Elizabeth Post, what does one do when one's friend is dating one's ex-boyfriend and
then comes on a reality show?
Yeah, what does one do?
We did get a sneak peek of the season and Shannon opening up to you about the night of the DUI, taking out a photo that I think shocked a lot of people, not knowing how bad it was. When you saw that, what did you think?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't new to me.
Okay.
Other people had shared the story she told me, but I was just trying to be there for her as a friend.
There's a lot of conversation around Shannon and drinking.
Mm-hmm. Do you drink?
I'm like a 2-drink max person right now.
Do you not think she has an alcohol problem?
Yeah, I do.
Have you seen a change in Shannon since all this unfolded?
I definitely see a change in where she is in her life space and who she is striving to become, and I think it's really admirable. Do I think she's there yet? No, but are any of us?
It's the forever question.
Yeah.
But do you think she has a problem with alcohol?
I mean, 3 times the legal limit, hours, getting tested hours after you leave a bar. I can't even imagine what it was when she left the bar. That sounds like a problem to me.
I'm done with people saying I'm the drunk that needs help, because I am not. I had a really bad night. I want to walk out right now.
Where do you guys exist now? Or have you been able to build a friendship back up?
At my core, I love Shannon. Yeah. I really do. She has a special place in my heart. And we were just texting yesterday.
Do you believe her when she says she doesn't care that John and Alexis are together?
No, I don't believe her. I would care. Everyone would care. It's human nature. You would care. It's bad enough. Look, you break up with someone, you want them to disappear. You want to ghost them. You want them to be gone. You want to erase them from your Instagram, and you want to never see them again. You want to run into them anywhere. That you want them to be gone. You do not want them dating someone who is now in your friend group on a TV show. No.
And then the Johnny J rebrand of it all, of him going fast and furious with Alexis. Do you think they're moving too fast?
I know she's so happy that she's in this great place, and I'm so happy for her that she's in love and she feels great. But yeah, I've said to her, I want you to slow down, but she doesn't want to hear it. And you know what? As her friend, I could say that to her, but also as her friend.
Respect, it's her journey. Not your circus, not your monkeys, as my mom likes to say.
Exactly. So I'm going to be respectful enough to back off and let her do her thing.
Will we see John at all this year?
I mean, there could be a hint.
I love you. Mwah. You think you're gonna marry him?
Does she want to be me?
No.
Who would you say has the toughest go this season? Who has it the roughest?
There's no big gang up. I'll tell you that. I mean, last year, I think we could probably all agree I had it the roughest,
Yes.
right?
You and your IMDb page.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think that this year there were equal opportunity offenders.
I think it's safe to say Jen has some ups and downs this year.
If she stays with him, it will ruin her life.
We are engaged!
How's the FBI going for you?
Stop.
FBI?
What? $16 million into his account. He didn't know where it came from.
Because we go from the high of engaged, fiance, to the low of caught up in a money scandal. When you saw that come across, your news alert, what did you think?
Some of us knew some of this information for some time.
That's kind of hinted at in the trailer. There's a moment where Tamara says, how's the FBI, something going?
Yeah, and so look, it's not a big town, so a lot of people know each other. It's a little bit Peyton Placey, if you will. And so we knew things. But you know things and you know things. It's like when Brooks had cancer and you were like, no. He faking it? No one would, no. And then you go, really?
It's the smoke fire situation. Like, oh, there's something happening there, pull that string.
It's odd. And so we had heard things, some of us, and then you'll have to see what we heard later.
Okay, we'll get to watch it.
Yes.
New to the group this year is Katie. Mm-hmm. You two don't appear to vibe very well.
Right, that's true.
Have you met Heather?
Yes, Heather was in front of me and she turned around and went like this.
I wouldn't go up against Heather.
You lied. Stop saying the word lie.
I can see straight through her.
I didn't lie.
You did.
My feeling is that when you come into a friend group, you should try to make friends, not try to dig stuff up on people months before you meet them or look to have problems with people. It's just all inauthentic. It doesn't work.
Okay. That plants a seed in my head of where things go, that she maybe gamified her housewife experience.
That kind of thing I don't get. And you and I were talking earlier, like it's hard enough to find people that want to open up their lives authentically and show who they are.
I saw a tweet that was like, thank you, Heather Dubrow, for being one of the rich women willing to put your life on TV for us to watch.
Or I'm a dumbass,
I don't know. I think it's worked out pretty well for you.
It's not bad.
We see you and Katie in the teasers we've got get into this thing about being a liar, which I know is a trigger for you.
Yes.
That's not a word you're gonna take lightly.
No.
What leads to that?
When someone comes into our friend group and wants to make a big splash and thinks they know how to do it, because when you think you're smarter than the show, you've lost. This is an authentic friend group. I have a history with all of these women, and it would have been nice to have Katie come in and just get to know me. I'm sad that she didn't, because maybe we would have been friends.
Yeah, so it sounds like there was a big target maybe that she could hit if she came after you, sort of thing.
Why does everyone choose me?
I don't know.
Seriously, Bryce, this happens often.
It's a pattern for you.
Yeah, she's like Noella 1.5.
Okay.
100%.
Is there any hope for the two of you to form a friendship at some point, or do you feel like that's dead in the water based on what happened?
I mean, you never know. Although I read she just gave an interview and said she hated me, so apparently not. It's hard to fight shadows, you know what I'm saying? And when someone just wants to have a problem with you, what are you gonna do?